What up? This is your boy DoBoy.
And I'm Patrick Cloud.
And this is yet another installment of The Internet is Undefeated. Cue the bad music.
The internet's undefeated. Check a nigga out, bitch. We got shirts.
Boom. That was hard. You could have kept going.
I don't know. I just kept it short.
Come on.
Check a nigga out. Yeah, we got shirts, guys. Look. Internet's
New
undefeated.
merch alert.
It also comes in white.
Why? Don't you stop overpronouncing the H and the W.
Black and white. I guess we should have worn one of each, huh?
Absolutely. I would have been a little bit more lit. But before we start today's episode, I want to take a moment and have a PSA because we do pay attention.
State of the Union.
Our fans, and I want to make a very, very serious.
Stop wearing those glasses just to take them off.
To make a point. So listen, people out there, I know a lot of y'all follow me. I do another podcast with my brother Kev on Stage, Righteous and Ratchet, and a lot of people heard me say, hey, I'm quitting my job at All Def. I won't be working there anymore. And maybe I should have explained a little bit more in detail. I thought that I did, but since I didn't, here it goes. Yes, I no longer am at All Def Digital as a day-to-day, everyday employee from 9 to 6, whatever, that about Monday through Friday. That has ceased. That had to stop. But All Def is my family. I got the tattoo. Of course, I'm still going to do the podcast. Of course, we're going to be doing it. So what? I have the old logo on my arm. But of course, they're still my family. Of course, I'm still going to be working. So you'll still see me in Great Taste. You'll see me in this show. Maybe you'll see me in Teddy vs. DoBoy Season 2. But listen, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm here.
Soft
I'm
announcement.
Gang forever. You never have to worry about that. The podcast isn't going anywhere.
That's right. What a lot of people don't know is that a lot of what All Def is day-to-day producing. We make the shows. A lot of what DoBoy was doing was running our short form, which was basically all of the lists that you've been seeing, like the graphic videos with the text, all those really, really viral moments. And, as All Def gets bigger, so do its stars. Kev and all these guys are like touring, so they just couldn't be producing 9 to 5 like that. Right. But in terms of our content, you're still gonna see all these guys. Oh, yeah. It is squad out here.
No bad blood. This is my family.
Talking to the mic.
Oh yeah. It's no bad blood. This is my family. So make sure y'all know that. So enough of the.
But wait, what needs to quit? Oh. And we mentioned this last week. The ice.
What you do bring up a strong point because all this ice I've been wearing has been messing up the weather. People are getting
the polar vortex,
all that different stuff.
They're getting what?
Pneumonia.
Oh, okay. That's actually what I thought you said.
Absolutely.
It's almost not worth it, correcting at this point.
But so yeah, my diamonds is dancing. So how do you? What do you want to say?
I don't know. I remember last time I told you. I told you what diamonds dancing really meant.
Okay.
And what it looked like. Mm-hmm. I just kind of wanted to show you what dancing diamonds look like. And I just wanted to ask you why yours don't look like this.
Okay, let's see. Let me take a look.
So this is
you might want to have that up before you try to make your point.
This is Lil Pump.
Lil Pump, okay.
This is Lil Pump, and he has actual diamonds. So
somebody actually called me Little Plump one day. I didn't like
it. Lil Plump. Oh, okay. Well, here goes his ice out.
Okay.
So you see how when he moves, it glimmers.
Oh yeah.
Why doesn't yours do that?
Because I ain't moving right now. Now focus the camera in on me, camera.
I've never seen it do that.
Zoom in, if you will. So hold on.
I've never seen it do that. Do what you got to do to make it look like this. We'll play the video for you. It's not doing that to my eyes.
Yes, it is.
My eyes aren't glimmering.
Is it mine ain't two-stepping?
I feel like you need actual diamonds for that to happen.
We could test them on the show if you want to.
We just did.
Shut up and leave me alone. What's on the tablet for today?
Let's jump into the. Don't try to take over my word. I'd be saying timeline. What's on the timeline today?
What's on my timeline?
All right, man. This is really hilarious because we are LA natives.
We are.
The Super Bowl.
I'd rather call it the Pooper Bowl. I needed to do something.
More like the Sleeper Bowl.
There we go. Sleeper Bowl. That was the trashiest Super Bowl that I've seen.
When I tell you I fell asleep in the first quarter. I woke up in the third quarter. And I was watching it on YouTube live. I pressed refresh 4 times.
So you were sitting there first. So I'm assuming it was you and your dude. Y'all both sitting in a sleeping bag.
You tried to in a sleeping bag.
You were just like, oh.
In a Ram sleeping bag.
But
no. I fell asleep. I woke up in the third. It was 3-3. I refreshed that whole 4 times because I could not believe that was the score.
It was and this is the
I was like, catch up.
This is the messed up thing about it. Like the culture. is against the Super Bowl right now. So everybody in the culture was like, don't do it. Don't watch it. Stick up for the culture. And I be just wanting us to have parameters on our boycotting. I'm like, nigga.
We let ourselves down for this one.
Like, nigga, so I feel like I went against the culture.
And we deserved it.
I was like, I ain't finna be woke.
We deserved this Super Bowl.
And I watched it, and it was trash. I wish I would have boycotted with the culture.
For real. If we would have stood strong. I would have known
it was going to be this bad.
We would have been like, ha, that's what you guys get.
So
but we suffered through
I felt like a whole coon watching this bad, trash-ass Super Bowl.
But imagine we protested, and it was like, can you believe it? In the last 60 seconds, 45 points were scored. Nigga, John Elway came back. Michael
Jerry
Jackson
Rice,
was performing at the halftime
and that's
show.
what I didn't want to happen, because I'm really a football fan. I didn't want to miss it, but that was buns.
Bro, I heard Maroon 5 was the hot ass.
First of all, I didn't even know. Like, cause I was like, Maroon, I know who they are, but I was like, they ain't had no hits in a long time. The most awkward part, and
they have hits, but it's like when you go to Vegas and you go to a white pool party, that's when you hear Maroon 5. So it's just like they hits where we not at.
Exactly. And the messed up part is, and make sure you guys pull this up. The most awkward part of their performance is when the lead singer, Adam Levine, was dancing with Travis Scott.
Dancing with?
No, like they were both doing the same thing at the same time, and I wanted it to end quicker than it started.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Because they only had Big Boy out there for like a hot 2 seconds.
I heard Travis Scott walked out, said straight up, and walked backstage.
And then he fell into the audience, and then he just left. He didn't come back.
The nigga stayed in the audience and started going like this.
It was bad.
The nigga started saying requests for Maroon 5. Play the one with Kanye West. That's the only Maroon 5 song I know.
Dog, the messed up part was the game was not good. The halftime performance was not good. The commercial, I don't even remember a commercial.
The commercials were stupid. I was watching the commercials like, what did y'all blow the budget on? Like,
and they be spending like $2 million a spot.
That's what I'm saying. Like, each second is so expensive, and it showed because the narrative didn't even make sense. It would be like an old man, he'd pet his son, and it'd be like Oreos. I'd be like, what?
The cookies that keep on giving. Why does that even make sense?
What?
Bro, I don't even remember none of the commercials.
I saw one that was good, and it was only good because the idea was good. I think it was like some NFL coach went to
that's the one that everybody keeps talking about.
Yeah, he went to a fire station, and he was talking about how like they're the unsung heroes, and then he said he got in a huge car accident, and if it wasn't for the first responders, he would be dead. And then the first responders that were on that saved him, like, we're like, hey, we were there, and he was like, oh, and he started crying. It was like a really good moment.
Like,
but
emotional?
then it was like Verizon.
That don't make me want to get a new phone subscription plan.
But it was a good commercial amongst trash.
They gotta get my rollover minutes together.
They spent all the money on celebrity appearances that made no sense. Like there was one scene where Anderson .Paak was playing the drums, and he just looked up like, what? And then it moved on. I was like,
it was just weird. And then Cardi B had one, and she was trying to get Steve Carell to say "Occur."
I didn't see that one. That must have been what I slept.
Or either I dreamed it. I don't know, but it just was all
that
around.
Was booty, the game.
So
like, I was like, LA, score just a touchdown.
I'm gonna need LA, and I'm an LA Ram fan because I used to be a 49er fan, but
you just be jumping all around.
No, because I didn't like how they did Kaepernick, and then I also was like, I wanted to always root for a team that I lived in the city of, and I've almost been in LA for 10 years. But the game was just. I'm gonna need the Rams. This is the game of your life. You dream your entire life to make. You're not guaranteed to come back. Put up more than 3 points.
They seemed really overwhelmed.
Yeah, they were like the moment was too big. And then Tom Brady just seemed like an old
but he's
fox.
He's
just a smart old fox.
Like, nigga, I've been here before. It's like,
Miyagi,
Tom, did you just say, nigga? I've been here enough times to say it.
You niggers. I feel like he would say nigger.
The Rams were just so overwhelmed. It just reminded me of like when a nigga thinks he's good at playing Madden and then he plays online for the first time. It was just like, oh, whoa.
Get bet 102-6. Like, what? It was they absolutely looked outmatched. But
Snores.
I honestly feel that the NFL they have some trouble, because you have to understand, like, Super Bowl Sunday has almost become ingratiated in our culture as like a holiday damn near. Yeah, I'm out here with the big words. It's almost like a holiday, especially for fat niggas. That's like number 2 to Thanksgiving. Like, Super Bowl party is supposed to be lit where you get all the food and you turn up the most.
Were you eating some good stuff?
The thing is, I ate some good stuff. I had some Albertsons chicken and some 7-layer dip.
That
and some
is
tings.
really good.
Dog,
Albertsons chicken is very underrated.
Litty. So, but the crazy thing was, it was just like, it just didn't feel the same. Like, it didn't.
Wasn't no steaks.
Yeah, but that's what it was just
in the kitchen or on the TV.
Absolutely. I see what you did there. I think that they've just I think something is wrong because football used to be America's sport, and so I feel like they. But let me ask you this. This is even a bigger question. When do we stop the boycotts? When does it end? I feel like 'cause they gave like $80 million to like some stuff, and
I don't know, because it's like we're in this weird gray area where it's like we're not boycotting enough for them to just like, you know, give in and give us what we want. Right. You know what I mean? But it's like it seems like it's still going successful. I thought that today, this season, NFL like views were at an all-time low. I think I heard that at some point, but I don't know. I don't know. It seems like the boycott should stop when they finally.
There got to be. There has to be like, what, we just never watch football again for the rest of our lives.
I don't know. I hear basketball is creeping up as America's number one.
Because, I mean, that's all anybody's been talking about is who's going to go play with LeBron and Anthony Davis. So they have actually.
Yeah, you start having some black problems in the NBA.
Woo. Woo.
All right, so I mean, it was boring, but I mean, another year, another Super Bowl. Next year, we'll be talking about it again. So
yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, in some weirdly. This news was kind of bigger than the Super Bowl at the time. 21 Savage got deported by the ICE because apparently he is
I didn't mean to laugh.
British.
That is the most hilarious thing. I'm sorry. Okay, first, let me just give a disclaimer because I did make a video kind of making fun of the situation. People got all in their feels. They don't joke about a man's freedom.
Right.
I'm not joking about it. It's not funny that he is getting possibly deported, whatever. But the irony that this thug-ass nigga who I assumed was from Zone 6, Atlanta, was from the UK?
It's
Tea and crumpets?
That is a twist.
Bruh.
M. Night Shyamalan couldn't write nothing like this.
I did not see that coming. The messed up part is, you know I'm a huge DJ Academics fan, right?
Are you?
I love you. DJ Academics.
I've never heard that sentence
is
in my
the
life.
gospel to me. I go for everything. So I'm watching DJ Academics, and he got a new show called like In My Hood or something to that effect, where he basically goes to like rappers' neighborhoods. Right. And so he went, and I watched the 21 Savage episode like 2 weeks ago, and 21 Savage is talking about his whole life and all the different hoods he lived in.
Right.
Conveniently left out the Britain and the UK part.
Well, here's the other thing. He moved when he was 6, I think. I
thought it was 12.
Well, what is that, middle school?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know about you. I mean, I have I've avoided the street life thus far.
We know.
But 10 to 12, I mean 0 to 12 ain't really, I feel like you really ain't in the streets like that. Like I feel like everything he's talking about, you could be from Atlanta starting from middle school. You could see some pretty crazy stuff.
And I get that, and I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm just saying that you don't have to leave out the part that you were from the UK. It could have just been like, I was in the UK when I was 12. I came to Zone 6, and then I became the thug you know as 21 Savage.
It's wild because I wish the headline was just like, breaking news, 21 Savage is British. Then I feel like we could have all of this fun.
Right.
But it's just like...
You put the deportation, then it gets
you
like...
we were just talking about all this stuff with Trump, and it is really messed up. Like that... It sucks.
This is the thing, like, because we have a show called The Internet is Undefeated, and it showed why the Internet is undefeated over when this happened. Did you see all the memes?
The memes of him with the red coats and stuff?
This is what he meant when he said he had shooters in all red. And when they had him write this raps with a feather pen.
But then it's like,
it's so funny.
I think the most accurate meme I've seen was the Soulja Boy meme, because it was like,
I didn't even see that one.
Well, it was the one that was like mostly text, and it was basically, it said 21 Savage gets deported, Black Switcher goes LMAO, and then like
Black Twitter.
What'd I say?
You said Swisher.
Did I say Black Swisher?
You said Black Swisher.
I didn't say Black Swisher. Did I say Black Swisher?
Yes, or you didn't say
Fuck
Twitter.
You, that's profiling. And if I did, that's also hilarious. Freudian slip. But it basically said Black Twitter, LMAO, and then Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato is the one who's under fire right now.
She got it back.
Demi Lovato went LMAO, and then Black Twitter was like, LMAO with the Soulja Boy meme. Because it was just like, we laughed at him, and then other people laughed at him, and then we were like, "Oh, that's not okay."
See, this is something that I feel like needs to stop, because Demi Lovato caught it. I won't even repeat some of the ththings people said to her. They attacked her addiction.
And just so you know, basically what she said was, I cut you off. I don't even know what the fuck she said.
No, she said something that she just like laughed at.
Oh, she said the best part about the Super Bowl are these 21 Savage.
That's it. And then people came at the dog. I'm not even.
That's fucked up.
Because I suffer from. I'm a recovering alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? I'm 445 days sober. So that's not nothing to joke about. But people were saying some pretty. I won't even repeat some of the things that they said.
Well, it's crazy because her point was that the Super Bowl was boring.
That bad. But see, that's the problem that I have.
That was her point. That was the intention.
Bro, I feel like us as black people and I'll just say black Twitter because I don't even know if black Twitter is just all black people. We have to stop being like that, like trying to exclude people. Because not only did people go after Demi Lovato, but Nicki Minaj started talking about some white lady that said something too.
Tommy Lauren.
She just made a joke. She was like, "You don't know our culture."
Well, no, Tommy Lauren was different because Tommy Lauren is just known for being a fucking bitch. I hate Tommy Lauren.
But she was just making a joke, though.
Well, no, Tommy Lauren said, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like ICE agents ready to deport you. First of all, that's the whitest shit ever. It was way too many syllables.
Side note, but see, this is the thing what I'm saying. When I did my parody, I said something very similar.
And you got hate for it.
But I didn't get that type of hate, though. But I got a lot of laughs.
Obviously coming from a blonde white woman.
Right, who has much more followers.
Also rallies for Trump to get these immigrants out of here. Like, she's like pro-wall. She's like, that tweet ended with like hashtag build that wall. Like, there's a lot of other rap shit. Really, nigga? You ain't shit.
That's the thing. As a comedian,
she's not a comedian though. That's why we take her shit.
No,
like,
but
we take her intention differently.
As a comedian, I can't not laugh if it's funny.
We want if Sarah Silverman says it is different.
But this is the thing that I'm saying.
It's all about intention.
It's just they're just jokes, and I just feel like
but not from Tommy Lauren though, because she actually like goes for build that wall.
But on that same rationale, I'm saying that everybody came for her, everybody came for Demi.
But yeah,
people that aren't the culture.
We were doing it too.
Right. But that's what I'm saying though. If we're all making jokes, like it's almost like everybody's making jokes. Like, hey, what are you laughing at? Like there's 50 people laughing, but what are you laughing at?
Right.
That's what I felt was just. I just was like, that's a little much.
We also need to split the line because I think that it's just like it's really only funny because he's like one of the most gangster rappers in the game right now. Like people are like splitting it between like black and white, but like if Garth Brooks was deported by Britain, we'd be like, huh, that's crazy. He's a country singer, but it wouldn't be like funny. You know what I mean?
That's the thing though. It's never funny about the situation.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like for stuff like this, it's weird that there's certain situations where serious shit is fun. Like somebody being deported is funny. Like we were just talking about the Bow Wow mugshot. Like people were saying some funny stuff like he fought Wolverine, which is kind of funny. But at the same time, it's like she beat his ass. If it was the other way around, like that would be horrible.
But see,
so
that's
it's
the
like,
thing though.
Where do we draw the line?
And that's what people I feel like have to stop doing because as comedians, you know what I'm saying, it's like we're tasked with making very, very dark situations funny. I mean, Richard Pryor used to go on stage and made a joke about smoking crack and setting himself on fire. There's nothing funny about that, but he was able to find some funny in it. So I'm just saying, like, no, we're not laughing at 21 Savage being deported. That's fucking terrible. But the situation that he's a gangster rapper that we never knew had any ties to outside of the country is utterly fucking hilarious. And I feel bad that we can't just joke. I feel like our society is starting to neuter us in a sense.
Well, no, because at the core of it, he's being deported, which is horrible, and we're laughing. That's what I think. That's where the
more of the
issue
whole
is.
We're not laughing at him getting deported. We're laughing at the situation.
But he did
leading
get deported.
Up to is he officially deported?
I think his it was just released that he's like locked down like 20 something hours a day and only can have like 10-minute phone calls. Like it's fucked up.
No, that's not funny at all.
It's fucked up. And then and then it makes the memes like. That's why I said I wish that the headline was just 21 Savage is British.
What? Let me backpedal. Let me.
That's what I'm.
You know what?
That's the whole thing. All these people are like build that wall, and they don't really know what it means. Like people are that shit's going crazy over there.
Okay, you got me again. Okay, let me just
This
backpedal.
this whole point of this show is just to bring you to my
bring me into your world.
I just want to bring you into my world.
Then you know what? In further thinking about it, that is somebody's father. That's somebody's son. That's somebody's brother. And he is locked up. And there's nothing funny about that. And maybe we do need to exercise a little bit more restraint before we joke about people's freedom. Like that is something serious. So I can say I was an asshole.
There are funny parts.
I would take
but people aren't
it
looking
down.
at the whole story.
I would take it down. I'll take my video down. Yeah, I think.
Oh, you haven't?
Yeah, I haven't taken it down as of yet.
Good for you.
After we get off of here, I'll take it down because I don't want to be
just for pure principle.
Yeah, I don't want to joke about something as serious as somebody's freedom.
Right, but
and
yeah,
now
you
I
should
can
take
see
it
the
down.
backlash. I'm gonna take it down. It was funny to me, but at the same time, I see.
Good for you, DoBoy. You're growing so much.
Shout out to 21 Savage. We are praying for your speedy recovery back to the States, and hopefully we can
recovery back to the States.
Oh, not recovery.
See, you calling me out. I would have let it go if you didn't call me
your
for Black
speedy
Swisher.
return to the States. Is that?
Speedy return.
There we go. Shout out 21 Savage. I still love his music. But yeah, you're
let me
right.
find out it was a fucking cutlass on his forehead this whole time. It wasn't even a knife.
It's a car. It's a feather. I'm sorry. Some of that shit is funny.
quill.
That nigga from the UK. And then you start looking at him, you're like, he do kind of look like. That's just.
His mom was interviewed and she had a full-blown British accent.
Really?
Long time ago. The signs were all there.
The writing was on the wall.
Writing was on the wall.
Well, shout out to 21 Savage and his
Shout
family.
out
We
to
hope
21.
that everything works out correctly.
21.
And I mean, geez, he's been here for like, what, 15 years? Why are they always trying to deport people?
I don't know. I just don't get it because there's like senators being accused of like rape and all this crazy stuff, and they're just brushing that off. And now there's niggas going to jail for 23-hour lockdowns just for being from Britain.
And that is actually insane. The fact that he got to be locked down like a whole criminal. That's yeah.
For being born some.
Come on, man. Yeah, and I'm a joke. And now you know, and I was part of the problem. We shouldn't joke about stuff like that. We should bring awareness. Shout out to 21.
Shout out to 21.
All right.
In other horrible things happening to black men.
There we go.
Jessie Smollett. We talked about this last week. This is one of the stars of Empire. Allegedly, he was caught at 2 a.m. in a New York subway. I think it was New York or just a subway. And he was beaten by some masked men who ended up pouring some chemical substance on him, putting a noose around him, and yelling N-word, F-word, and this is MAGA country.
Right.
Now there are reports saying that he might be lying. And that shit pisses me off even more. Like, as it was bad enough, now you guys are, and like there's like fabricated stories. Like now they're trying to say like, oh yeah, there's camera footage of him in a gay club and there was like some jealous relationship. Now they're trying to make it like, oh no, he was beat up by like gay people in some like revenge. Like it's bad. That is a crazy accusation.
Look, man, listen.
That is a crazy accusation.
It is. And I always get very, very selective with my words with certain situations because I never want to come across as victim shaming. I never want to come across as insensitive to certain situations.
Yeah.
With that being said, I will just say this. I don't, I would just, I don't know because I don't want to say the wrong things, but I will say that it is important.
Your words.
It is important for when things like this happen. That we do recover all of the facts and all sides. Much like when we said everybody jumped to the defense of that kid that was saying that he was getting picked on, and then later it came on that different things might have been said. So I'm not even going to form an opinion because I don't know enough. All I'm saying is we should get all of these facts out. That's all I will say. I won't say, I just feel like all the facts should come out.
Okay. But just based off of that, I personally, the only stance that I can take is I hope he's not lying. And just because, like, for whatever, like, I always break down, like, what is somebody's intention in something, like, at the end of it. Because people's execution can be fucked up. But, like, intention-wise, like, okay, what would be the point of lying? Like, would it be like a PR move? Would it be to help you? Would it be to help the movement in somehow? Because you wrapped in the gay community, the black community, MAGA. It's a lot of stuff. So if you lied
can
on
find
that,
reasons to lie about anything. I'm not saying he did or he didn't.
No. I'm saying just because it was a hate crime and a racial crime, and people are so scared to talk or tiptoe around that, just because it's all that, I don't think that it's
something to play with or
it's not 100% sure that he could be. What am I trying to say? I don't think it's just because all that other stuff is present doesn't mean it is the truth.
Well, right.
I mean, like, you can lie about that, but I really hope he doesn't.
You hope that he
This was the
thing. This was the thing that I took from it. Even when the story initially came out, I don't want to say that it sounded. No, I can say that. It to me, I was just like, this sounds like something from a movie, because I did not know the state of affairs in America was that bad to where as a black man you'd be walking down the street. Like, that sounds like something out of the 60s or the 50s. So even when I initially heard it, I was just like, oh, the world must be a lot more fucked up than I was giving us credit for, because I had no idea. Who just readily has a noose? Like, I've never even physically seen a noose. So in my mind, I'm like, that's just fucking crazy. Like, I didn't know everything was that bad. Of course, I believed him.
Okay, I think. Okay,
but that was a lot, even when it was said.
Now, forgive me if I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I don't want to put any words in your mouth.
Okay.
But it seems like, and I'm trying to help you, by the way.
I'm not okay.
It seems like from what you said, what you were afraid to say before was that maybe you had some suspicions. And I think
I did not
before
say that.
wait, no, before I say that, I think it's unfair to attack somebody just because they say I have suspicions, just because there's MAGA and the gay community and the black community wrapped up in it. I think you should take it as any cop would take any investigation.
That's all I was saying.
So I'm saying if somebody had suspicions of it, I would just say you shouldn't just attack them right away, because it's a case just like anything else. Right. But I will say that I fully believe that something like that can happen, because there were news headlines that I couldn't believe happening that were non-famous people, non-PR moves that were just like someone got hung in the mid. You know what I mean? So stuff like that is crazy, and it is happening. So I could see something like that happening, but I would just say this: I'm not ready to take a stance. I would never say that he's lying.
And I want to be very clear. I never said he was lying. All I was just saying that I wanted to gather. I hope and pray that he's not either.
But if it is, I'm glad that that's not happening.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I like that, how you put that.
I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm glad that there aren't two people out there,
really, because that was the thing that just
but
really.
At the same time,
it was like he was like the things that was said was like he's seen some people that had MAGA hats. They say you're that F word from there. I was just like, people are really doing that. That was just really a sad thought that the world was coming to that. But
and I feel like it is fucked up.
Right. And so, but that's why I'm always very careful, especially when you're talking about victims. So I'm not here to question him. I'm not here to say he's lying. I'm just saying that we need to get a full account of all the facts. Get as much, with all these cameras out here, let's get as much information as we can. And if this went down exactly how he said it did, let's get this scum off of the street.
And here's what I will say, just so to clear, in case anybody missed our point from all this. I think that the facts are this: something happened. Some people committed assault and battery on him, and they shouldn't have.
Right.
And at the end of the day, he said what happened. And if people want to say something as crazy as he's lying, I need proof that he's lying.
Exactly.
I don't need proof that it happened. I need proof that he's lying.
I will take. I'm
going to be on his side until you prove me wrong.
Until you prove to me.
If you
that
show me a CCTV where some bullshit happened and we're like, holy Jussie, how could you do this? Then it would be a different story. But you can't just have some headline thrown at me, because headlines are dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Once you read them, some people just read the headline, don't even read the article.
Yes, exactly.
I could print a realistic looking headline that says DoBoy is a hermaphrodite, and there'll be like at least 1,000 people headline, who are like who just start saying that. I think you hear DoBoy is a hermaphrodite. Did you read anything else?
Charlemagne says that all the time. Sometimes the story is more interesting than the truth, or the lie is more interesting than the truth. So sometimes these
you just want to feed into.
You just want to. So, but I think you just hit a good point.
I'm sorry.
Huh? Yeah, go ahead. I think that you just hit a really, really good point.
Thanks, man.
When you said that. That's how it should be. We should believe people from what they say off the rip until they, like they say when you go to court, you're innocent until proven guilty. So he is telling the truth until it's proven that he's lying. I believe
that
him.
method doesn't work with everything.
It doesn't.
You know what I mean?
But in this situation, it's saying, hey, we believe you, Jessie, until somebody comes with some facts to contradict what you're saying.
Right.
So we're not here to say he's not. I'm just saying let's get all the facts out and let's get justice served.
And pray. And
you did say another
prayers
important,
with Jessie, because that's
and
some
you
wild
did say
stuff.
another important point too. Somebody assaulted him.
Yeah.
So there was a crime regardless. So he was a victim regardless.
Yes.
Now it's just about figuring out
and
what
let's
people's
hope he
intentions
wouldn't
were
roll in two strong movements.
But let's just talk about this. I want to see your views on this. Apparently Jessie was in the club.
Okay.
After this all happened, because he really hadn't spoken. After.
Oh.
He was in the club. We can get the footage. You ever seen this?
And above all, I fought the fuck back. the gay Tupac.
Okay. All right. So.
Was that enough time?
Yeah. So that was. Because you gotta actually play a video. So all right.
Okay.
So how do you feel about that?
You know, it's so funny because when someone first told me that he said I'm the gay Tupac, I tried to look for it and I couldn't find it. And then when I found it, I told other people, and they didn't know that happened either. And then I found out that a lot of blogs and music sites, they cut the interview off before he said that.
Really?
Yeah. Like a lot of people cut it off because the thing he said right before that was very powerful. He's just like,
he was
I
making
fought
a point.
back.
I fought back, and that was
And it
very
could have been
important.
it.
And then he got to the gay Tupac.
I'm the
part.
gay Tupac. I was just like, I feel like Tupac could have accomplished everything he could have accomplished, and he could have been gay at the same time.
I just didn't.
It's a
I
weird
just didn't
statement,
know.
ain't
It was just like somebody just hit you out the blue with a statement. It's just like, oh. I don't know, man. I just
That was weird.
I mean, look, man. Who am I to say he's not the gay Tupac, man? If that's
What does that
it
mean, though?
I don't know. I don't even know what it means to be able to tell you if you are or you're not. I'm like, yo, you're rapping. You got a mixtape coming out. Are you gonna act in a movie with Janet Jackson? I didn't know what it meant that I'm the gay Tupac, but apparently it meant something.
Fighting homophobia like Tupac fought New York.
I think
I'm trying to figure it out.
I just didn't know, and I'm not making fun.
I'm not either
saying that. I was just like,
I just want the breakdown. Everything he said before that, I was with him.
I just didn't. I was
Powerful.
like, he was like, yeah, I'm the gay Tupac. Yeah. He the
And I'm not saying he can't be.
I'm not saying anything's wrong.
Just
with
give
him
us
saying
the
that.
syllabus. Give us
Just
the
let me know.
parameters of what that means, and then we'll go down the checklist.
I just wasn't
because to be fair, there was a lot of straight people who said I'm Tupac, and we jumped down. We pressed them.
That's what I think initially. I was just like, why is it always a Tupac thing? Like, Bootsy,
you can't just throw gay in there and shoot to Tupac level.
Yeah.
You still got to prove why that means something.
I feel like possibly Tupac is such ingratiated in hip hop culture that it's
You're
just
coming with the words today.
Mm-hmm. So I just feel like people just feel like maybe that's what he meant. Like Tupac was strong, Tupac was revolutionary. He stood up to things, and maybe he was like, "That's kind of how I'm going." You know what? Once again, I'll backpedal. Maybe he looked at it like, you know what? I'm proud to be gay. You're not finna make me feel no type of way.
It's gonna be rebellious. He's gonna fight back,
just like Tupac was. Okay.
So maybe
sometimes you just gotta talk these things out.
Maybe it's just the piece that he said. I fought back.
Yeah.
And then I'm the gay Tupac, meaning Tupac fought back.
For everything
I'm
else.
fighting back. I'm fighting back.
Now we see what he
See, we just had to break it down.
Sometimes you guys just talk about it, put the pieces of the puzzle on the table, and then just look at it, and then you can put it together.
Yeah, so, but he's got to do a bunch of other stuff now.
Yeah.
Because you can't just, get jumped, fight back, and be like, I'm Tupac.
Yeah.
That comes with a lot of other stuff.
Tupac was a very...
So you might be able to be the gay Tupac. Run with that.
Yeah, you're going to have to be dropping movies like every other week, because Tupac dropped a lot of albums.
I don't think it's going to be that literal.
Oh.
But hey.
What did you mean?
I don't know.
What other things is he going to have to do? Patrick,
I think he meant more of the activism side of things, not like a Juice appearance.
Side note, kick the footage to when you did a Tupac monologue for Juice for the Inside the Office footage. A lot of people didn't know about that.
We're going to have to just be quiet during all this now?
Throw to that footage with Pat doing the Juice monologue on Inside the Office. All the young people were like, what was he doing? I didn't understand. Shut your young ass up, motherfucker.
People were like, why do you switch outfits? Like, that's the joke.
It's a joke, you dummies. But shout out to Jessie. Am I saying his name right?
I think it's Jessie Smollett.
Jessie Smollett.
I have like a huge insecurity that I mispronounce almost.
I would have thought you had a huge insecurity about your hair and your lack of a chest. That's what I'm thinking.
I was about to say no to the hair. No insecurities to the. I am in the gym though.
What are you doing there?
I'm hoping, lifting hope. All right, next up on the timeline. This is a weird one.
Okay.
So the game has been dropping snippets, and these have been snippets. Okay. The game is dropping snippet after snippet, and it seems like the goal of the snippets is certain diss lines. And if you're hearing this, these chip sounds, DoBoy's having a mid podcast snack.
I'm fat.
So the game is dropping a bunch of snippets of him in the studio. He's previewing new music, and I think more than actually getting people excited about the music, I think it's more about the lines within the music, because each snippet is going really, really hard at fucking another rapper's wife.
See, listen, this is, and like much as I defend Drake tooth and nail, there shall be no Game slander when DoBoy's around.
You a Game fan?
Game is, I think,
documentary is up there.
I think in
it's up there.
my hierarchy of rap, how it's starting to go, I think my number 1 rapper is Drake, number 2 is Hove, number 3 is Game.
Mm-hmm.
I think number 4 is like starting to be Rick Ross. But I say all that to say, Game is doing nothing else but being Game. Like, I could see if he had never done, like, you have to understand, like, he's known as like the name drop rapper. Like, he kind of made name dropping like part of his cadence and his style and his flow. So if you're a real Game fan, this is not, and I'm starting to have a serious inherent strong problem with people acting like Game has to do shit to drum up interest for his album. No, he fucking raps really fucking good. And he's rapping just like he's been rapping for the past 15 years. So I don't see what the disconnect is. Like, I can see if he never did this before, but nigga, that's all he do. Like, he talks shit.
Yeah.
That's who Game is.
But I feel like back in the day, he was going at people for a reason, kind of. You know what I mean? He did have the 50 buck wild mentality, but he was like, he went at G-Unit for kicking him out, or whatever happened with that situation. Like, he was going at people for dissing his homies, like, and it's just like, damn, this is just like, like, and the lines are just like, man, like, he was talking about holding Kim Kardashian by the neck and making her suck his dick, and like, she swallowed my Kim's.
I heard it.
And then now it's like, Sin Santana, I smashed first, and Joe Budden, like, I put her on. I was
this
just
is
like,
what I would say. But this is what I will say. This is where I will say, okay, I'll say this. I would think there should be certain limits and parameters once you're talking about women who are now wives.
That's my whole thing.
One thing I'm like, come on, especially with somebody like Kanye and him have been friends, or seemingly friends to the public eye. They've collaborated several times. And there's even a clip, and make sure you guys look for the clip. There's a clip when Game was on Wendy Williams, and he was talking about like how many Kardashians he may have slept with.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't say Kim because he was like, Kanye West is a good friend of mine. I would never disrespect him.
So what changed?
That's what I'm saying. So it's like now it's a year and a half later. And
that was a year and a half ago?
Yeah. So it's just like.
Really? Are you sure?
I'm positive. I watched the show. He was talking about how many Kardashians he had slept with, and he had counted Black China because at the time she was messing with Rob.
So that's my thing.
I'm like, bro, that's disrespectful to your friend.
So your first point was really good because I think music-wise, yes, this is nothing new for Game.
Right.
It'd be different if like someone who has never been about that just started doing that. Then it'd be like, what are you trying to do? But like for this, it's like that. Like you said, a year and a half ago, you said that was disrespectful. Now all of a sudden, you got an album dropping. You talking about, your homie's wife swallowing your kids back in the day, and it was never. And like Joe Budden even said a thing like that was never a trophy moment for you up until now.
Right. Like
why that was never something that you bragged about up until now. So why now that your album is dropping are you just like
that's the only
bigging that up?
That's the one thing that I could say too.
Like you can't switch sides on your character.
Right, but this is one thing I can say. And maybe I'm wrong. But I'll play devil's advocate for Game for 2 seconds. Maybe, and I'm not saying that Game has said anything or alluded to this or anything, but maybe, just maybe, all the shenanigans and shit that Kanye has been pulling over the last year and a half with the whole being a Trump supporter, going at Drake, all this other stuff, maybe Game was just like, man, this nigga's a whole dork now. Maybe it was like,
and that's all it takes for you to
I don't know. I'm just trying
up?
to find, sense in it all.
Well, what did Joe do? My whole thing is like, I don't understand why that was necessary. Because my whole thing is like, when you listen to the snippet, the song around the diss sounds fire.
Game is good.
This nigga Game can rap.
I've always likened Game to this. I feel like Game is the Terrell Owens of the rap game. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by him being the Terrell Owens of the rap game, you can get caught up in all the theatrics of Terrell Owens, right? Oh, he did this. He was a cancer team, da-da-da-da. But you cannot go away from the fact that he's one of the top 3 receivers in NFL history. I feel like Game gets recognized for all the other stuff that he does.
Right.
Niggas act like he wasn't solely responsible for the resurgence of the West Coast. I know because I lived here.
Right.
At the time. So you know what I'm saying? And he's a really good fucking rapper.
And that's why I feel like he didn't need to do any of that. And I think that that's young nigga shit. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's getting caught in that, like, you say that about a nigga's girlfriend, you know what I mean? But it's like,
A nigga's wife. Yeah.
nigga, we're 40.
And also, I don't know why
like them niggas are 40, they got kids and
I don't
shit.
know why he would say that about Joe Budden, because from what I've seen, Joe Budden's always kind of been like a fan of Game, like, and always
It
kind of
must have
bigged
just
him
been
up.
like, what?
I don't know, man, but I mean, I'm
It
still gonna
seems a
get the
little
Game
weird.
album. I don't think he's doing this for clout. I don't think that he's doing this just to drum up interest around his album. I think Game is very much like me in the sense of he's very emotional, and however he's feeling, you're gonna get that right at that point. And people like to call him like he's flip-flopping. It's just most people have that censor in their mind that they don't say things when they feel like, you know what I mean? But
Right.
he's one of those people, if he feels a certain type of way, he gonna say it. And then another day he might feel something different.
But I feel like as a rapper, you know that I feel like when you write a verse, you know what lines pop out. You know what lines are going to be talked about.
Right.
And you know the marketing behind it. You know what I mean? It ain't no coincidence that niggas start beef right before the album come out.
Yeah.
There's no other reason for it. Why would you
Absolutely.
just start problems with a nigga unless it's to promote something? So it's like,
So you think that he did this just to get some buzz around his album?
Well, oh yeah, of course. Anytime a rapper does that, it's to get some. It's almost like a viral moment within like a long interview. It's like a little piece you can drop by itself, and it's just like, did you hear that? And it's just like it's just wild because everybody does this, but it's just like you don't need to do this. It almost reminds me of like the Nicki Minaj thing when she got a number 2 album and just flipped out. It's just like,
Right.
come on, y'all already legends. Just like stay in it.
I ain't gonna lie. I was just like, maybe we should just not talk about people because everybody's wife got a history.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just leave them out of it. So,
But at the same time, it's rap.
but unless you're dissing a person, so unless he's like, fuck Kanye, hey, fuck your wife,
Yeah.
but this is supposed to be your friend.
That's why it makes me uncomfortable.
This is a plot twist. Apparently, he's gonna take it off the album now.
What?
That line, the Kim Kardashian line.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
But then I don't understand if that was gonna be the case, and you're gonna switch it, then why even drop the snippet?
Right. But I mean, he got the publicity. I don't know.
More in the rap coming out soon. I'm still gonna buy it.
Half of me is just like, nigga, this is rap. Fuck it. Like all this shit that Tory Lanez and Don Q were saying about each other, like, nigga, this shit is rap. But then and it's
I'm a battle rap fan. If you watch battle rap and listen to a dude named Arsenal,
I know Arsenal.
he has said some of the most disrespectful. If
That's
you
what I'm
watch
saying.
it, just when you get a second, watch the Arsenal versus DNA battle.
Yeah.
He talked about this man's dead dog. He talked about his dead dad. So in rap, niggas just say whatever.
I do believe
And it was
that.
highly entertaining.
It's just a thing that's just like, that was your friend. And
Yeah.
I feel like when rap beefs happen, it almost opens the floodgates because then like a million people start attacking these people. Like, seems like Kanye is an easy punching bag right now.
Yeah.
So it's like,
But Kanye has been wilding and saying some stupid shit too.
right, but he just said that's my friend. I wouldn't disrespect him like that. It's just weird that it went directly against his own words.
I would hope if I ever beef with a nigga, he wouldn't talk about my wife or my daughter.
Well, yeah, hopefully, but I mean,
That's always been the-
especially your friend though.
That's always been the unspoken rule with me. You can check this back from whatever type of content I do. I don't talk about people's family. I don't talk about people's like their woman or their child.
Mm-hmm.
Women and children should be excluded from these things. It's almost like when you fight. You don't bring women and children in that. So
That's why Pusha T heard Drake say his wife's name and was like, okay.
that-
Went
yeah.
to Adidas headquarters, like, give me all the info.
yuck, I like
Yuck.
it. But shout out to Game. Born to Rap coming soon. I'm still gonna buy it.
I'm still gonna buy it too.
Game, man.
I want to see what else. See, and it's low key. It's a good tactic because now I'm like, shit.
No,
What else he about to
I'm
say?
gonna tell you, Game done went through some stuff. He's had like a lot of family stuff happen. You know, rest in peace, lost his father. Game, I am predicting Born to Rap is going to be a classic. Because
what does that mean? What is a classic?
Like it's gonna be a staple that we listen to for a long time. Like it's gonna be like a watermark of a time.
I just asked somebody how long does it take for somebody to become a legend or for an album to become a classic, and it seemed like the all around answer was around a decade. If a person's influence or a project can withstand a decade, then they've reached legendary status.
Just think about it. It takes so long to be a relevant artist for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Who's been relevant for 10 years?
We were just talking about it. Like, we think that Drake is probably legend status right now.
Absolutely.
Kendrick is probably legend status.
Yeah.
The people I asked even said Chance, it kind of depends on where he goes right now. It seems like he's becoming
I feel like Chance is in a very...
legend. He's becoming like activism, but music-wise, he's not on the same...
I feel like he's in a very interesting point in his career.
By the way, did you see his Doritos commercial?
I seen it, but I wasn't even paying attention. Was it good? It was bad?
I'm a Chance fan. I am a Chance fan.
But
That
you be
was
making him
not
your
a-
MCM though. What do you
Shut
feel about
up,
what do you
nigga.
feel about his music?
Shut up. Shut your damn mouth. You made a Kit Kat bar. You're MCM.
All right.
But it was. Oh my God. Doritos must have gave him a bag. He collabed
Really?
with Backstreet Boys for a I Want It That Way remix.
I did see that one.
Of the spicy Dorito nacho.
But let me say this before we move
That
on to the
shit
next
was
thing.
butt.
It was butt.
Oh man.
I feel like this though. He's in a very interesting spot in his career because I remember like 2 years ago he was like the darling of everybody. Everybody loved him. He dropped the album. The music was cool. I feel like I haven't heard a new Chance record in a couple of years now.
He's doing a lot of other good stuff though. Like,
I get
if
that, but
he's- if
don't
he's
forget
gonna-
what we liked you for.
That is true, but if you are gonna take a break from music and you just out here making, it
Stuff
seems
with
like he's
Backstreet
out there
Boys.
with a construction hat building schools for in Chicago. You know what I mean? Like he's literally doing, he's going up
I'm just
now.
I'm just curious to see what the next project sounds like musically.
Sames.
Samesies. All right, now we were gonna talk. Do we even? Well, no, we got a little bit more time because I don't have to be out here. We got some more time. All right, so we're gonna definitely do this, and then we'll go to the conspiracy corner.
Okay.
Liam Neeson.
Yes.
There's some audio that's dropped,
Yeah.
and he says some pretty interesting things.
This is a tough one. This is like every black guy's
So,
favorite.
I'm gonna play this, and
actor.
then you guys can figure out how you want to do this. But I'm gonna play it so we can just hear it now. So,
Okay.
this is what he was recorded and saying. Oops.
You want
First
to
of
cue
all,
it up?
okay, gotcha. Here we go. Here it goes. Shall I put the microphone next to it so we can hear better?
As close as you can.
All right, and here we go.
I'll tell you a story. This is true. I'm not going to use any names, but I was away and I came back and she told me she had been raped. But she handled the situation of the rape in the most extraordinary way. But my immediate reaction was, I asked, did she know who it was? No. What color were they? She said it was a black person. I went up and down areas with a cosh, hoping I'd be approached by somebody. I'm ashamed to say that. And I did it for maybe a week, hoping some black bastard would come out of a pub and have a go at me about something, you know, so that I could kill him.
So
So,
that was first of all,
first of all,
even with a horrible story,
his voice.
that
is
nigga's
still the
voice
same.
is amazing.
He's just,
That sounded like a reading for Taken 6.
I was just like,
His voice is amazing.
I thought the next thing he was going to say is, "I have a special set of skills." But
Oh,
maybe
don't
this.
make
But,
me
maybe,
laugh
but hold
during
on. But maybe this though. I think maybe there's a small chance his words were taken out of context. You see what I
Oh
did?
God, I was actually about to answer that. Okay,
Taken out of context.
so my thing is like, first of all, it's a crazy story.
Crazy.
I think he had a vulnerable moment, and I feel like we're so nervous that we like he said something about black people, like he said something about gay people, like we're so nervous and about being offended that we just like latched on to the racial part of this.
Honest question. Do you honestly feel like if she was raped by a white man, he would have been out there trying to kill a white man? Honestly.
I think, okay, I'm glad you asked me that because I personally think that the description of the person who committed this crime was who he wanted to attack. So I think if she would have said
I disagree.
a Mexican, he would have been looking for a Mexican.
Oh,
if
yeah,
he
okay,
would have
yeah.
said if he would have said the bad thing is that if she would have said a white person, he probably would have asked for more information. He probably would have been looking for a redheaded white man, or a blonde white man with a mustache. It sucks that a black man was all the information that he needed, but like I think that he was upset. He grouped a whole race into it, which we all do. When we see a school shooting, what do we say? White people. When white people see a robbery or something with black, they say those black people. We're in traffic. You don't know the person who just cut you off, so what's the first thing you cut to? Damn, Asian. I don't know why I used it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you're going on this one by yourself.
But
I ain't gonna say it.
I'm just saying, like we do that.
But
and
this
it's
is the thing that I think makes this very scary. First of all,
it's Liam Neeson.
yeah, his voice is just amazing. I just want him to talk to me and I'll fall asleep. I just like his voice. But more than that, this is the thing that I feel like is even more scary about the situation. We live in a world where sometimes when a black person is accused of something, sometimes any nigga will do.
That sucks.
And there's like, think about the Khalil the I don't want to say his name. I think it's the Khalil Bowers story, the Jay-Z produced documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Some guy said he got his backpack stolen and he just went around, didn't even know who it was, like, oh, it was him. You see what I'm saying? Just any black man that you can pick. There have been different situations, like even like with the hurricane, like there's different situations where things happen and you just pull any black person. So the fact that this happened and then you say any black bastard, that just kind of makes me feel like you lessen who black people are.
Absolutely.
And then any black person will do.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel is very scary.
Yeah.
And weird.
What I think happened, I personally do not think that this story makes Liam Neeson a racist. Mm-hmm. Is it Nielsen?
We got to get people's names right.
I always say is it Nelson? Neeson. Liam Neeson? I've been saying Liam Neeson since Taken One.
I said his name wrong before. It was Khalif Browder. So I don't want to mess up his name. Khalif Browder. That's how he went to jail.
What?
That somebody thought that he stole a backpack.
Right.
And they just drove around. He was just like, oh, him. It wasn't him at all.
Right.
And he went to jail and
that
subsequently took his own life.
The difference between that is that's our fucking law system, and they should have done a whole lot more before convicting that guy. Right. And this was somebody who was caught in a I don't know who that girl was to him, but like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? And it's like if it was a black family who said it was a black dude, that father would probably be going around looking for a black, you know what I mean? It was more about this person that did something horrible to this person that I care about.
I can't give him that pass. I can't. I feel like there's something very white privilege-y about just saying I'm looking for any black person coming out.
I feel like he had an emotional moment. Nah. He said some things.
I feel like you're letting him off the hook, Pat.
I'm not letting him off the hook. I'm not letting him off the hook because I think there are racial undertones that were included in this. Right. But it's like what I wait. Let me just say this real quick. It's like I'm gonna say traffic again because I feel 100% confident going out on a limb with this because this is like one of the few things I'm sure that everybody shares in common.
Absolutely.
I think that if someone of a different race does something to you in traffic, some racial shit might come out that doesn't define you as a person. If you say, that black guy just cut me off. Maybe if you say the N-word hard,
you might be a racist.
Maybe.
You might be a racist.
But you've never just been like, you black motherfucker, Asian motherfucker. That doesn't mean you hate Asian. I love everybody. But it's like that you just had an emotional moment and race slipped into it.
Okay, I'll give you that. But this is where
and that's scary. It's scary to go out on the limb on the internet and do that. But
this is why I cannot give him that pass.
He didn't do it too.
He didn't do it. Good.
He thought about it.
Thank God. We don't know. He got a set of special skills. We could have done whatever.
Also, what the hell is a flog? What did he say he had? I thought it was a gun, but then I saw a picture of it.
But this is the thing that I'm talking about. He started and prefaced his statement with, I'm ashamed of this. You're not going to be ashamed for just wanting to stick up for this young lady for being assaulted.
I'm ashamed of those little traffic moments I have.
As you should be, you damn closet racist. But I mean, that's very far stemming from wanting to go kill the next black person you see. So I'm saying that there is a very cultural problem with the fact, now had he said it like, somebody I knew close to me that got raped, I just seen red. I wanted the person who did this to come to justice. I was willing to do whatever I did.
His execution was a little
But for you to be
wild.
able to say, I was out there looking for any black person, lets me know you're looking at this from skewed vision and different goggles.
I would have, for sure, if he was someone at that level and that level of celebrity, especially if you're going to do anything dancing around, this could be perceived as racist. He should have danced with them words. I would have been like the next African American I see.
He said black bastard?
I feel like he was being a little too honest for how the internet takes things. Absolutely. And I think it just got spun out of control. I do not think he's a racist. I think that was a very, very racist moment that he had. But I don't think after that moment he was just like, all black men are rapists. Fuck all black people. I don't think that was his... I don't think that's how he felt afterwards, and I think that's what racism is. I think that racism is like a constant hate that you have.
True. Well, and I would definitely say this. If at the very least us here at Internet is Undefeated, we have taken him to task and made him accountable for the thing. I did it again. You still didn't even catch it.
Because it's bad.
Taken.
It's really bad. And taken is a very easy word to slip
in there. It really
is.
So I don't know. Is he canceled to you?
Absolutely not. I think
absolutely.
I think it's fucked up, but I think that the internet's running with it.
He quasi-canceled to me.
I mean, I'm gonna need more information.
I don't need. I heard him say black bastard, and he was looking for any brother that he could have killed.
He could have said that in a movie script, and it would have been okay.
Well, I would have been cool. I would have been entertained while I ate my popcorn. But he said it in the interview.
So if he said that white bastard, I would have killed any white man I would have seen.
That's racist too.
So you would have had a problem with that?
That's still racist. Yeah,
it is racist.
You should just be out here trying to kill somebody that's a very inflammatory, dangerous mind state.
It is, but
any black person will do.
But I understand it. If you're that upset and somebody,
I want to find
if somebody hurt somebody you cared about, your first thing would be like, I want to kill that nigga.
That person, not anybody who looks like this. They have the same skin color.
That's true, but I think that was what was wrapped into his emotional fit.
Man, fuck that nigga Nia, man.
Because he didn't do it. If he went on a fucking killing spree of black people, we would have been like, man, you handled that the wrong way.
Yeah, true, but I don't know. He's on ice for me right now. I mean, but I wasn't a huge Liam Neeson fan. He makes the same movie every time anyway.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of the podcast. The popular. This is getting a little popular.
It is.
This is the conspiracy corner. Cue eerie music.
How come you don't have any jingle for this part of it? That's your
I want it to be scary.
I
want it to be scary. Jingles are too happy. The debug box. No, I don't like it.
Let's just keep it for the other part.
Let's keep it for the other part. So today, this one is another one that just had me reading for a very, very long time. This one is called, and excuse my pronunciation, the debug box.
The what?
The debug. The debug box.
That sounds like some bad vagina.
It does.
The debug box?
Maybe it's Debec. The Debec box.
The
Debec box.
She got that Debec box. It was dry and thirsty.
Well, that's the fun version of it. But the Debec box. Oh God, I'm probably gonna pronounce it different every single time.
Jesus, you're so stupid.
The Debec box is it's basically known as in the Hebrew language as it's like a ghost. It's like a spirit.
In a box.
So this particular one lives in a wine cabinet, and it is haunted by a spirit called the Debec. The Debec or Debuck.
Stop just saying.
Let's just call it the D-box.
The DB.
The D-box.
D-box. Right.
The D-box. Sounds like a Jadakiss.
D-box.
D-box. All right, so what this is a very interesting urban legend on the internet. So basically, this guy posted this wine box on eBay, and full disclosure, put a whole novel in the description saying what this is, what the backstory was, and why he wanted anybody to buy it off of him. Okay, so quick backstory. I'm gonna try to get to the interesting part, but it's all interesting, so forgive me. So essentially, in September of 2001, he attended an estate sale in Portland, Oregon. Okay, long story short, he bought an old wine box that belonged to an old Holocaust survivor. She basically fled Poland with a couple of people. She was the only person in her family that survived. Okay. Went to Spain, bought this wine cabinet, took it to America, and then sold it. So he bought this box, and the granddaughter. I just want to make a disclaimer. White people don't see red flags.
They don't.
You ever watch movies and you're like,
God damn it.
This movie would have ended right here for me.
Shit.
So red flag number one. Maybe we can count the red flags. Okay. Red flag number one. He bought the debug box, the D-box. Okay. The granddaughter of the woman who sold it to him came up and was like, so you bought the box, right? Told the story and basically said the grandmother asked for the box to be buried with her, but because it went against Orthodox.
How big is this box?
The wine box?
Yeah, I'm thinking a wine box is like tall.
I don't know. I think it's like a regular wine box.
You can hold it?
I'm not sure. I'll get the facts,
dimensions.
Nigga, the facts of the haunted spirit in it. I didn't look the dimensions. Now the Debec box, which is
what are the coordinates? Yeah. 5 by 7,
15 by 11,
solid oak,
rosewood.
All right.
So he asked. He's like, oh well, I mean, if he found out that there's stuff in the box as well, and he was like, I can give that back to you. She was like, no. He was like, are you sure? If this is an heirloom, like, I'll give it back. She started crying.
Like, they ain't finna give us these demons?
She was like, take this box. Do not take this box.
My mind goes different places. Take this box.
Take this haunted box.
Have sex with me and then take this thing.
So he was just like, okay. basically,
I doubt he said it like that. But
put it in his shop. He ran a shop.
Okay.
Left for like a little bit. The shopkeeper told him, he called him crying. He sped back home. She was like curling in a corner, shaking. Saying somebody's destroying the basement. This nigga went down to the basement where the box was. All the lights were shattered, like broken. A whole bunch of shit was just scary. Was no escape, no way in or out.
Pause for 2 seconds. This is at the point. If this was a black person, you take this wine thing that you buy and you burn it.
What does he do?
Apparently, did he?
What does he? First of all, the girl quit.
Nigga, that would have been the.
Stop talking to that.
She called
nigga.
him from her house. So back as you got problems at your office, they was fucking up some shit.
Stop talking to this nigga.
Okay.
So, what does he do? He cleans it up and gives it as a birthday gift to his mother.
White people, listen to me now. You've got to stop being like this sometimes. That is, he gave it to his mama?
This nigga gave it to his mother.
I love these stories. So what happened when he gave it to his mother?
This is all in the eBay story, right? This is all in the eBay
This is in the description?
This is in the pitch.
Buy this, but listen to all this fucked up shit.
This ends in buy now for $19.99. No,
I gave it to my mama.
No, I'm just kidding.
So he gave it to his mom.
Gave it to his mom for his mother's birthday, okay? For whatever reason, his mom's birthday is on the 28th. She had to reschedule to Halloween.
Her birthday?
Yeah. She rescheduled the whatever to Halloween, so this nigga pulled up to his mom's house with the D-box.
But the box has never done anything to him. It only just been hating everybody else.
At
this point.
the granddaughter cried. It destroyed his shop. And
now
made
he's bringing it up.
So
No, we're gonna talk. Hold on. So he gets this box.
Yes.
It's the grandmother. The girl cries, please, and forces him to take it. He takes it to his home or wherever, or to his store.
Refurbishes
it. It fucks up his whole cellar. Then the girl quits and cries. He says, all right, I know what this should be in my mom's house for her birthday.
my mom's house.
Right,
and I didn't even say what was
going.
in it.
Okay.
Weird ass shit.
All right.
A 1928 wheat penny, a 1925 wheat penny, one lock of blonde hair bound with string, one lock of black and brown hair bound with string, one dried rosebud, a golden wine cup, and a very strange black iron candlestick holder with octopus legs. Just a bunch of random witchcraft.
Why do you still own this?
So, I digress.
He gives it to his mother.
He pulls up on his mother, okay?
My God. This is all true shit.
This is apparently all true. Okay. So remember it's Halloween.
Right.
They were gonna have lunch together, but they were gonna he basically presented the wine cabinet and she liked it or whatever. She examined it and he went to make a phone call for 5 minutes. This bitch had a stroke. His mother had a stroke.
Did she die?
Okay, no expression. Tears were streaming down her cheeks. No matter how hard she tried to get her to respond, she would not. Basically saying she suffered partial paralysis, lost her ability to speak and form words, and she could only understand things being said to her by pointing to letters of the alphabet. When they asked what happened, she pointed to NOGIFT, no gift.
What?
The only thing she could say was no gift. She was paralyzed. He gave her the box. Made a phone call.
But why would she say no gift?
Because the gift was the box. Whatever happened.
Oh, she's saying this was not a gift.
No, whatever happened to her came from the box. It made her paralyzed, and the only thing she could say was "Get that shit away from me."
Oh, like no gift. Like
yes.
No, get that fucking.
Yes.
So then at this point, he definitely gets an axe and burns these things and puts the ashes over the Pacific Ocean.
No.
You can't just add it now. It's still scary. You can't mid-story go to a fucking jingle.
On the next episode of White People Who Don't Learn Shit. So, I didn't associate anything that happened with the cabinet itself or anything to be paranormal. Oh, and also, she became even more upset and wrote hate gift. I laughed and told her not to worry. I told her I was sorry she didn't like the cabinet, and then I would get her anything she wanted if she promised to get well soon. This is the most hopeful guy. This nigga's a
sociopath. This nigga was putting hits on people. Hey man, look at this box.
This nigga's name is Chucky, I'm sure. Niggas named Chucky are very hopeful.
Absolutely.
So
wait, there's more?
Oh, there's more.
Patrick!
Okay. So then he had the box, right? Mm-hmm. Every time he went to sleep, he had this dream. And in the dream, he was walking with a friend. It was usually somebody that he knew well. And
So he has a recurring dream now.
And at some point in the dream, he found himself looking into the eyes of the person that he's with. And then he realized something is different. Something's evil looking back, right? Mm-hmm. And then at some point, the person's like face changes into like this gruesome, demonic looking hag, like old like lady. And then the old lady just beats the shit out of him. And this happened like a whole bunch of times, right?
Got beat up by a ghost?
But no, this was in the dream.
Oh, he was getting beat up by a ghost in the dream.
And then this nigga wakes up with bruises and marks on themselves where they were hit the last night, right?
Right.
But he never related it to the wine cabinet, even still.
And getting beat up by ghosts is a real thing.
I guess so.
Okay.
So then his sister and his brother and wife. Oh, you know what? I skipped a whole part.
Nigga, God damn it.
He gave it to he gave it to his brother and his wife, and they had some wild shit happen to it too, and they ended up giving it back, right? So
why won't he just get rid of it?
He never associated it to the wine box because he is dumb. All right.
He's a stupido.
He's a stupido. Okay. So yeah, basically he let his brother and his sister's wife like borrow it, and they basically gave it back saying it didn't work, and one of them said it smelled like jasmine flowers. One of them said that it smelled like cat piss. And
why would they take it if it gave their mama a stroke?
I don't know, but he gave it to his girlfriend, who ended up like selling it to somebody, and then they sold it back. Somebody gave it left it
These
back.
are all white people in all these transactions.
For sure. Somebody left it on his door with a note that said, "This has a bad darkness." And he said, I had no idea what that meant. Anyway, I ended up taking it back home. So at this point, he gave it to his mom, his sister, his brother, and his wife came over and spent the night. And basically, they all had breakfast together. And the sister complained that she had a horrible nightmare last night. Guess what the nightmare was?
She got her ass beat by an ugly lady.
The hag. And he noticed during that story, his brother and his wife were getting uncomfortable. They basically said they had the same fucking dream last night, and that was their first time with the D-Box. So now all these niggas are having the same dream of the same old lady beating their ass.
I know this is a really busy old lady. She beating the shit out of everybody. Another one.
Jerry went to sleep too?
I got to pull a double tonight. Everyone's sleeping. Got to beat the shit out of everybody. I swear I got to fight to be scared of these motherfuckers.
Cheryl's asleep now too?
God damn it. Every time they go to sleep, she wake up. God damn it, when you motherfuckers just be up. A nap.
Oh my God.
That's the end of the story, right? There's not more.
So basically, they all had the same nightmare, and then that's why he was basically like, okay, fine, for sure. Right? So then, since they openly had a discussion, hell broke loose. And that seemed like it was kind of hellish before. But for a week afterwards, I started seeing what I can only describe as shadow things in my peripheral vision. Numerous visitors to my house also saw these shadow things. I put my cabinet in I put the wine cabinet in an outside storage unit and awakened when the smoke alarm in the unit went off in the middle of the night. He went to see what was burning.
This ghost is a what's the people, a pyromaniac?
I don't know, but there was no smoke, no fire. And then when he went back inside, he was hit with that same cat urine smell. And then he said he's never owned a cat also. And then he smelled the jasmine shit. He did research. He was surfing the net. He fell asleep, and then he had the same nightmare again. He woke up around 4:30 a.m. to the smell of jasmine flowers and somebody breathing on his neck.
Shit.
And then he saw a huge shadow thing walk away from him. So he says he wants to destroy it, but he doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand what he might be dealing with, and he's only taking serious buyers. He has like a full interview with anybody who wants to buy it. They set the price, and the last line, if you are one of I have been told there are people who shop on eBay that understand these kind of things and specifically look up these kind of items. If you are one of these people, please, please, please buy this cabinet and do whatever you do with a thing like this. Help me. You can see that I have no reserve price or minimum bid. If I can make things easier, let me know, and I will do everything within my ability. One more note: on the same day that my mom had her stroke, the lease to my store was terminated without cause. Oh, and here for you. The measurements are 12 by 5 by 7.5 by 16 by 25. It's a good cabinet for you. Good sounds.
I ain't buying that shit.
Yep. And he's basically like, I'm not religious. I don't do any type of exorcisms or nothing. I will not sell any of the individual pieces. Niggas trying to be cheap. Like, how can I get that blonde hair? Let me get that blonde hair.
Let me get that blonde hair for $75. I'm just kind of into it.
And then his last thing was just like, after you buy it, don't hit me up ever.
Did anybody buy it?
I don't know. This was like a minute ago, but it became like a huge urban legend on the internet, and nobody really knows what it is. Let's unpack some of this real quick. So, do you believe that ghosts can beat people up in their sleep? Yes.
Why do you believe that?
I've woken up with some unexplained scratches.
I wanted you to talk about this. I didn't know if you were comfortable, so I just kind of baited you out here to talk about it. So you've gotten your ass kicked by a ghost before, too.
I know a bunch of people who have, yeah.
How does that... Walk me through that. Because that's really... When you said it and you talked about it, because I think you talked about it on one of your lives, I was just like... Why is he not fucking crying?
It's
and
something
screaming?
you can easily. It's something you can easily.
Are you comfortable talking about this?
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about your experience with ghosts. I think that
just in general.
In general,
I don't mean we don't got enough time for that.
Let's talk about you getting your ass beat by a ghost.
I wouldn't say ass beat. It wasn't really
back?
a fair fight. I mean, I wasn't there.
So talk to me about that, because that's really fascinating.
It's really just something you wake up with some stuff that you brush off as I scratch myself in my sleep until you can't. Huh?
Were you having a dream and like?
I don't remember. No. It's nothing that I'm hiding. I don't know what happened.
So, but you've woken up in the morning with marks. You were sleeping alone with marks that.
I think the scariest thing is that same live that you're talking about, which is probably the worst case. That happened to my mom a long time, like 10 years ago, in the same markings.
Really?
She took pictures of it and showed me. Yeah.
Okay. Hold on.
Yeah.
What?
She took pictures and showed me, and I was like, oh.
The same markings. 10 years ago?
Yeah, at another house. I told you I grew up in like 200 houses.
What the fuck, Pat? I'm not coming to sleep over.
Wow.
First of all, that's just scary.
Was that offer out there?
I'm just saying, like, that doesn't scare the fuck out of you?
At this point in my life, no.
So
I mean, no. The mom thing, the same. Yeah, that's scary.
But just waking up assaulted. Like, cause this, I guess, is the thing that I'm asking. When I think about ghosts, I think of boo. Like, but I didn't think that they could do anything to you. I thought that they could scare you. They could show up in your dreams, almost like this person's talking about. You see them, but I didn't know they could physically touch you, or like with this thing saying that it fucked up. Like, that means if they fucked up a whole cellar, that they can touch it. Like, that's.
I mean, well, the difference
scary.
between what a poltergeist is a ghost that you can't actually see, but it moves stuff around. So like
How, though?
I don't know, but like one of my biggest experiences with ghosts as a kid, like my Battleship game was thrown across the room, like physically.
Did you see it happen?
Mm-hmm. And all the pieces were there.
Stop,
and there was like
stop for 2 seconds. So you're sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing at the time?
I was like falling asleep.
So you're laying in your bed,
and
then you just happen to look at the Battleship thing.
No. I wasn't looking at it.
Okay,
that'd be too. But
so you're just sitting there. And then
I was
all of a
watching
sudden
Fresh Prince. Yeah,
you see it get up in the air and go to another side.
I didn't
of the
see
room.
it get up. I just saw it smash against the other side of the room, and that was like an
How old were
extreme
you?
version. Oh shit! I must have been like. I was like 13 or 14, maybe.
What went through your mind when that happened?
I ran to my parents' room. And the rest of that
What
night
did
was
they
pretty
say?
crazy.
like,
I mean, they
believe you?
They walked into the room and
I know a lot
they
of
looked
times when
around.
kids say stuff, they be like, "Oh, you're just tripping."
It wasn't the first time I had, cause like me and my brother and sister, it was a big thing. Like we would have these shelves, and we would just like this. It's funny, it's just like this. We would just like put our toys up like this, just for like to make it look cool, like how we do here.
Right.
And they started jumping off the shelf in a way that was like we would come in the room and they'd be over there instead of like right here if something just fell off. And then a couple times I saw my Stone Cold hop up and jump off. So we were like telling my mom little things, but this was the first time they were just like.
So when you watch a show like The Haunting, that shit really.
That's why I watched that shit. Wow. And then all my friends got into that too, because like the girl I was dating got really into it. My best friend Lonnie Rogue got into it because people would come over and start seeing some stuff.
And it never made you afraid to live there?
Yeah.
I'm afraid to come over. Has this happened at the house of yours that I've been to?
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
In the same studio when we recorded King of the Sixes?
That studio when we first
Put that footage up about King of the Sixes too and the making of the video.
You don't got to do that.
I don't know.
When we first renovated that studio, every night at the same time, it was like around 3:05, it sounded like somebody was going through the kitchen. I think I told you that.
You did.
We would just wake up.
I was just drunk all the time around then, so I was just thinking you were just talking some shit.
But yeah, it would just be like cabinets and like you hear silverware and shit like that
So
moving around.
the whole family sleep. Everybody knows everybody sleep.
No, I was just me in there.
It was just you in the house by yourself.
No, not the house, the studio.
Oh, and then you would hear those sounds?
Yeah. And it scared me at first, but when it got to the point where I would wake up, hear it, and then I fell back asleep, that's when I was like, oh, this is bad. This is just normal now.
And that never tripped you out?
It tripped me out when it became normalized. When I would wake up, hear it, and just be like,
did it make you afraid? Did you only hear these things when you went to sleep? Or it would just be you be awake and you hear some shit?
It mostly happened when we were awake, yeah. It's some wild shit. I told you, man.
So this doesn't sound far-fetched to you at all. What this guy's talking about?
No, I believe in all that stuff. But it's also like, it's one of those things, like, it's like how I view religion too. Like, you kind of have to have a personal experience.
Right.
You can't just be pushing like stuff that may seem ridiculous on other people.
Right.
It's really just one of those things I know for myself. If somebody else experienced it, I'll talk to them with it. But it's like, I ain't out here like, ghosts are real, believe in ghosts.
Well, that's the crazy thing is because, you and I have been friends now for going on 4 years. And I remember when you first were talking about it in such a way, like you weren't saying it like in a funny conversation as to say a joke. You were just saying it, because we talked about this a couple times. You said it very matter-of-factly, like, this is what happened. I remember first couple times, like, not knowing how to process that, but being like...
And that's a big part of it. You have to be totally okay with it. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds like... I have stories that sound stupid as hell, and if I had never experienced it, I'd be like, well, that nigga's lying.
Well, do you think that since ghosts can beat people up and they can beat them up in their sleep, do you feel like ghosts have the capability to kill people?
Yeah.
Do you think ghosts have maybe killed people in the past?
I mean, if you believe in that, all that exorcism stuff, like a lot of those people die in the end, and that's more demons and stuff, which is, I guess, more powerful. But that's a whole other story. But yeah, I mean, I think it could happen. People have been even like cases where somebody is just like tormented by like all those like Amityville horror type of cases where it seems like a ghost is like every night just being like, hey, kill your family. Go ahead, kill your family. And it gets to the point where they get so fucked up, they just, like those cases where the dad just freaks out and murders his whole family. Like some of those cases are like in haunted houses.
Fuck. And because we were talking about this, about a show that we had watched. I think you had watched. You told me about it, about somebody talking about their ghost experience, and he had said the ghost moved with him. Remember? He said that he was like getting beat up by a ghost, then he moved, and then the ghost showed up at the new house.
I like how you keep saying getting beat up by a ghost. Like every night it's just like,
get your ass, son. You know what time it is. See you next time. Same place, same time tomorrow.
You nerd.
You dork. They shove you in a locker in your dream. You piece of shit. But that guy, he was getting tormented by a ghost, and the ghost relocated with him.
Yeah.
That's really fucking fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it moved with us too. It's not the same one, but the same ghost can move with you, but you can just attract that stuff too.
And just not, and you can stop me if any of these things become too personal to talk about. I totally get it. I don't want to make a joke of something serious that you're going through. But have you ever like looked to maybe look into why you might have had the same marks as your mom? Because that seems a little like maybe that was the same ghost. Maybe. It just seems weird. Like for you, and I know I keep saying getting beaten by a ghost, and that sounds funny, but to get assaulted by a ghost, in the exact same way as your mother, that doesn't like.
Well, here's the
do
thing.
Something in your mind.
You said that you saw that on my live. That was fairly recently, like probably within the last couple months.
Right.
That was probably the only thing that happened that we connected to something else. Everything else just kind of seemed like random events.
Different shit.
And then we'd move and it'd sort of be like random events. Like I even worked at this laser tag arena and they said that they had like kind of like spooky stuff happening. But when I started working there, like it kind of went to 100. So like it might.
So you mean that you brought your ghost and your ghost started teaming up with the other ghosts?
I don't think
we turn it up.
I don't think ghosts follow us.
Ain't nothing but a packed ghost party.
A pack ghost party. Oh shit, this ghost in here. Hey nigga.
Hey nigga, what up? We in this bitch, nigga.
Niggas is floating and shit.
See walking? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just like a energy thing. Like maybe you just like attract it.
But it will be safe to say this, that these ghosts, so whatever ghosts are in that wine cellar box are the same ghosts that fucked up his cellar is the same one that probably gave his mom the
That
stroke.
is all the same thing.
Right.
And that's like a mean, like a malevolent ghost. Like that's doing horrible stuff. Like luckily for us, our ghosts just be like moving stuff. Like it's never like tormented us and like, you can't have this house. Like luckily we didn't do none of that shit.
But let me ask you this though. Just how we know that there's bad spirits, could there also be good ghosts that do good, cool shit? I mean, not
like, damn,
not
I thought I left the oven off. I thought I left the oven off. My home nigga turned the oven off.
Casper came and turned the shit off, didn't burn the house up.
Nigga wake up like, is that muffins? Muffins?
Oh, thanks, bro.
Colonial muffins. All right.
So wish I could clean up my room. It's clean. That's just so do you believe in good positive ghosts?
Yeah, I think people refer to those as angels.
This will not be the last time that we talk about ghosts on this program.
It can't be.
Ghost stories. And I have a much higher level of respect for you because, I mean, I know when people look at me, you be like, yo, Doe is tough. He's not scared of anything. I be scared of shit. I wouldn't know how to deal with that. Like, I wouldn't know. I think people that might deal with stuff about that, not even like on no joke and stuff, because I've heard people say this, might turn to substance abuse and different things to kind of clear their head from the fucked up shit. Because, I mean, I'm just thinking, if I'm going to sleep and seeing some crazy lady and she's beating me up, I might want to get drunk to not deal with that. Or maybe if I get drunk.
That didn't happen to me.
No, not to you, to the other guy.
Oh, right. Well, he was.
Right. To his thing. But the people in that story, they were seeing a ghost. It was real fucked up. Like, that is enough to make you want to
That's crazy.
get some type of relief.
And that thing is actually like fucking with his life. Like, that's a lot different than a ghost going like this.
Yeah, you almost knocked over my drink, but I feel what you're just like, yeah. That just happened.
That was weird. Yeah,
but this is like some other shit.
This is like fucking with his business, his family, and all that stuff.
But even with the stuff that you've said, though, even if I was as a child seeing a fucking battleship, I'd be fucking losing my mind.
What really helped, and I do think about that. What really helped is that like it happened to everybody. You know what I mean? So we could talk about it. It wasn't like something that like a lot of times like even in that show that we were talking about,
nobody believed him.
Yeah, it was like it would single out like one or two people, and then the rest of the people thought they were ridiculous, so they were just dealing with this shit on their own. So
did you say that he was like he would take a bath and he would have a dream of like being in the bath with blood and on that show?
On that other show? What was that called? The Haunting of Hill House?
No, not The Haunting of Hill House. The other one where they were talking about different stories.
Oh, right.
And
the interview style.
Yeah, he was like, "Yo, I was in the bed."
Yeah, them niggas.
Yeah,
that's real stories.
This is very interesting.
I have a lot of stories that's like, oh damn, that was crazy.
Right, but not like no real like
nigga
blood in the bathtub.
Some shit like where fast forward and you know, like you said, having to turn to something, some abuse or substance abuse. Like it can go either way.
Yeah,
it's not always fun.
Wow, you brought the heat on today's episode with that one. I was like, woo.
Look it up. It's the D. I've been calling it the D box. ZIBBUK. It's either Dybbuk or Dybbuk, but look it up. You can read the whole story and count all the red flags that this dude ignored, and don't be that guy.
Yes, and just to put it, this is a great episode. I know we put this out there earlier. We are definitely flirting with the idea of possibly letting Conspiracy Corner be its own little bit that we might do.
We got to bring the conspiracy.
We have to. I mean? So if you guys are down for that, to maybe have a bonus video every week that we don't talk about all this stuff and you're kind of just dorks like us and you like stuff like this, let us know. We might try to hook y'all up with this and circle back. Yeah, this has been a great another episode of The Internet is Undefeated. Yes, I have been your boy DoBoy.
And I have been Patrick Cloud. Make sure you guys hop into the merch shop. Get you some t-shirts.
You like the video, share the video, comment on the video, and please follow us on all social media accounts.
Yes, sir. Don't buy any mystery shit off the internet either.
There you go. Don't do that. All right, man. We're out of here. It's been cool. I'm putting the glasses back on because I've made all my points.
All right.
It's lit. What up? Thank you for tuning in to another installment of The Internet is Undefeated. Please like the video, share the video, hop in the comments, let us know what you think. If you just want to hear the audio, go ahead, follow us on Spotify and Google Play. I have been DoBoy.